VTech really sucks. $19 billion to secure the U.S. next year. The Internet of Things is perfect for spying. All that and more coming up now on ThreatWire. Greetings, I'm Patrick Norton, and this is ThreatWire for February 10th, 2016, your summary of the threats to our security, privacy, and internet freedom. Hey, and thanks to everyone who supports us on patreon.com/ThreatWire. Quote, we are taking all necessary steps to ensure that our users can continue to enjoy our products and services safe in the knowledge that their data is secure. That was Alan Wong, the chairman and group CEO of VTech Holdings Limited. They make the VTech toys. So last year, back in December, that was VTech's response after the horrendous security practices at VTech led to data and photos from 6.3 million users of their portals, well, exposed, vulnerable, stolen, and out on the interweb. And generally speaking, I hate the whole the children, we must protect the children motivation for security. I don't beat on that drum. Seriously, the data in this case was basically from portals, from kids' accounts with kids' photos and stuff. VTech went on to say, this is the interesting part. VTech went on to say they've hired a security company and they're looking at this attack, which was coordinated and sophisticated. Remember that phrase, coordinated and sophisticated. That's what VTech said. It was a single person acting alone. And in the words of security researcher Troy Hunt, quote, the level of sophistication involved here is being able to count. That sounds funny, but you need to take a look at the article that Mr. Hunt wrote. No, VTech cannot simply absolve itself of security responsibility. Inside the article, he pretty much enumerates the major flaws in VTech's portals for its children's products and to call out VTech on its new terms of service, which state, in all caps, people, that means shouting on the internet, you acknowledge and agree that any information you send or receive during your use of the site may not be secure and may be intercepted or later acquired by unauthorized parties. Our security sucks. We may or may not do something about it, but if you use our products, deal with it. Oh, wow. So what makes this really awesome is this week VTech pretty much announced that it's buying Leapfrog, the other craptastic children's toy manufacturer. I don't buy toys for these companies for my kids because for the most part they're pretty mediocre. You shouldn't either. And if you do yourself a favor. Do not use their online storage or services unless you feel that exposing your information to the internet is okay. We joke a lot around here about Jeff Bezos using Shannon's Echo to listen into the sounds of Shannon folding laundry. At least I do. But in reality, it's really doubtful that Amazon pays attention to anything that an Echo hears. It doesn't have the Alexa in front of it. And I'm just going to say that Alexa one more time because I know everyone out there with an Alexa is going to be really irritated. And then this morning I see that U.S. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper told the Senate this week, I think it's just, this is great. Because I'm not even wearing my tinfoil hat. Quote, in the future, intelligence services might use the Internet of Things for identification, surveillance, monitoring, location tracking, and targeting for recruitment or to gain access to networks or user credentials. I'll just let that sit there. And if you're wondering what's open, check out the most excellent search engine known as Shodan.io. That's the search engine for internet-connected devices. Oh boy, webcams, you say? That's not new. Well, take a look at some of the other stuff that's on there and then contemplate what a well-funded three-letter agency could get access to if it wanted. Think of all those Nest thermostats out there, like the one I just pulled off the wall of my house, all those children's toys. I mean, heck, VTech will probably just put it into the terms of service, right? Hey, there's a great read-up on Consumers.com. It's called Did Net Neutrality Kill Broadband Investment Like Comcast, AT&T, and Verizon Said It Would? It takes a really nice look at telecom broadband industry claims. The idea was that the FCC's open internet order, aka net neutrality, would end investment industry-wide, and the internet would stall because they wouldn't spend any more money. And while you might argue that the telecom and internet industries were business as usual, while they fight net neutrality, and they are fighting it tooth and nail in the courts and with lobbyists and with AstroTurf agency. It's a mess, right? Basically, everybody who sells internet access does not want net neutrality because they look at the opportunity to make players pay to get access to you as something they should be able to do because they want all the money. So, great example, at&T says they're dropping $22 billion on capital spending in 2016. They spent $21 billion last year. And by the way, the $21 billion they spent last year, Doesn't even include the $49 billion they spent on DirecTV, all the while claiming net neutrality was a, quote, war on infrastructure investment. So imagine what they would have spent or might have spent this year if there wasn't net neutrality. It's a good read. Go check it out. And while I'm talking about billions of dollars, somebody get me a cat to pet. Tuesday this week, President Obama dropped a $19 billion price tag on improving government and private cybersecurity. Known as the Cybersecurity National Action Plan, it includes a commission on enhancing national cybersecurity. What do we need to do to fix the internet? Comprised, and this is good, of top strategic business and technical thinkers from outside of government, including members to be designated by the bipartisan congressional leadership. It proposes $3.1 billion for modernizing government IT, along with a new federal chief information security officer, a focus on multi-factor authentication. That's going to be part of the new National Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign. And no mention of, say, good backdoor-free encryption for the public. But I'm sure they're going to get around to that because anybody that comes from the private sector and is talking to the government right now thinks that actually not putting backdoors and encryption is a positive thing for actually the economy, the people, security, national security, infrastructure. Yeah, encryption. We should definitely look into that. Our featured comment today comes from Marquise Richardson, who in response to Stingray surveillance in California, that was in last week's ThreatWire, says, ThreatWire, a show almost as electric as Snubsy's hair this time around. Preventing surveillance is impossible unless those whom you communicate with have the same goal. I tell friends to use encrypted communication apps and they ask why. Then I ask to see their phone so I can browse through their messages, which they always respond no. If only people knew using encryption is the same as keeping your information to yourself and preventing snoops, not just governments, from browsing your messages. Thanks for the comment, Marquise. And by the way, Shannon says, yes, her hair is electric. Hey, if you have any thoughts on today's stories, do me a favor, leave them right below. And I want to thank each and every one of you that support ThreatWire on Patreon. Patreon.com/ThreatWire makes this show possible because we want to do it without ads. Because if we're doing ads, then we work for the man. And you know what? Darren hates working for the man, and so does Shannon and I, which is why we try to work for ourselves. That's a whole long conversation. But seriously, if you find value from this and you can spare a few cents an episode, please become a patron at patreon.com/ThreatWire. And if you do, we may even feature your adorable fur babies like these ones, unless that's an Ethernet port, in which case, thank you for answering that call for your favorite Ethernet port and or piece of hardware. Ladies and gentlemen, we love doing this show for you. Keep watching, tell your friends about it, share, like it, and if you can, write us a nice review, and we hope you contribute to help us keep this coming completely independent and ad-free. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, remember you can find all our episodes, links to our social networks, and other ways to contribute over at threatwire.net. I'm Patrick Norton, and I will see you on the internets.